Emma Thompson stood under the flickering fluorescent lights of a 24-hour gas station on the edge of Detroit, Michigan, clutching 8 crumpled dollar bills. It was 11 p.m., and the autumn chill seeped through her worn jacket. Those $8 were her lifeline, set aside for her 7-year-old son Liam's school lunch tomorrow. She was about to head home when a desperate sound stopped her cold. A man gasping for air. He was massive, over 6 feet tall, with a grizzled beard and arms covered in faded tattoos. A black leather vest, patched with the Hells Angels' winged skull, hung on his broad frame as he slumped against a gleaming Harley-Davidson. His face was gray, his hand clawing at his chest. He was dying right there on the cracked pavement, and the lot was empty except for Emma. "Keep walking," the gas station clerk shouted from the doorway, a young guy in a hoodie and backward cap. "Those bikers are trouble. Drugs, gangs, the works." Emma's eyes darted to her $8, then to the man. She pictured Liam waking up to an empty fridge, but her heart wouldn't let her move on. She bolted inside, slapped her money on the counter for aspirin and water, and dropped to her knees beside him. She didn't know who he was, but that choice, spending her last $8, would change everything. By the next morning, over 100 motorcycles would roar onto her quiet street. But let's go back to the morning before, when Emma's world was still held together by grit and hope. Her alarm screamed at 5 a.m., same as always. She dragged herself from the sagging mattress in the tiny 2-bedroom apartment she shared with Liam in a rundown Detroit neighborhood. The walls were thin, the carpet stained, but it was home, for now. In the kitchen, she opened the pantry, a half-empty box of generic cereal and a splash of milk on the verge of sour. She poured it all into Liam's bowl, diluting it with water to make it last. None for her. There wasn't enough. Liam shuffled out in his Spider-Man pajamas, rubbing his eyes. "Morning, Mom?" "Morning, buddy," Emma said, kissing his forehead as she set the bowl down. This was their life, scraping by, stretching every penny, praying nothing broke because there was no safety net. Emma worked 2 jobs, morning stocking shelves at a dollar store for $12 an hour, evenings waitressing at a diner for tips that might hit $30 on a good night. Her old Ford Focus had died a month ago, transmission shot, and fixing it was a fantasy. She walked or bussed everywhere, her sneakers letting in the cold through a hole in the sole. The bills never stopped. Rent due in 4 days, $200 short. Liam's allergy meds, $50 she didn't have. An overdue electric bill with a shut-off notice stuck to the fridge. But Emma didn't complain. Her mother's words echoed, "Kindness doesn't cost a dime, Em." And it's all we've got sometimes. So she smiled at coworkers, asked customers about their day, and kept a gratitude jar on her nightstand, scribbling notes like Liam's laugh or a sunny morning. That Tuesday was routine. She walked Liam to the bus stop, then trekked to the dollar store. 8 hours of stocking canned goods and cheap toys, her mind on autopilot. At 2:30 p.m., she clocked out and headed to the diner, arriving early to sip coffee in a corner booth. Rosie, a veteran waitress with a smoker's rasp and a heart of gold, slid in across from her. "You look beat, hon." "Always am," Emma said with a faint smile. "You're killing yourself for that kid," Rosie said, patting her hand. "He's worth it." "He is, but you gotta take care of you too." Emma nodded, but they both knew she couldn't afford that luxury. The evening shift was hectic. Factory workers, families pinching pennies, teens sharing fries. Emma hustled, refilling sodas and forcing cheer. By 10 p.m., her tips totaled $28. In the back, she counted, $28 plus yesterday's $19 made $47. Bus fare, $4. That left $43. She set aside $35 for rent, leaving $8 for Liam's lunch and maybe ramen for dinner. She folded the bills carefully and started the 1.5-mile walk home. The streets were quiet, the air sharp. Cutting through the gas station to use the restroom, she heard it, the gasp. Stepping out, she saw him, the biker, leaning on his bike, then stumbling. His hand clutched his chest. He dropped to one knee, face twisted in pain. Emma froze. Every instinct screamed, "Keep moving! You've got Liam to think about." Then he collapsed, flat on his back, lips turning blue. "Hey, call 911!" she yelled toward the station. The clerk stepped out, cigarette in hand. "Lady, that's a Hell's Angel, probably high." "Don't be stupid." A truck driver, older with a Red Wings cap, emerged with a coffee. "Miss, walk away. Those guys are dangerous." You got a kid, don't you? He drove off. The clerk retreated inside. Alone, Emma stared at the man. No breath, no movement. She flashed to her mom's heart attack years ago. People stepping over her on a city sidewalk. Too late by the time help came. Emma was 14 then. The memory burned. She dropped beside him. Sir, can you hear me? His eyes fluttered. Pills. Forgot. Her phone. 1 bar, 10% battery. The 911 call dropped. Damn it. She ran inside, grabbed aspirin and water, $6.50, paid with her $8, and rushed back. Chew these, she urged, placing 2 tablets in his mouth and tipping water to his lips. Help's coming. Stay with me. His hand gripped hers weakly. Name? He whispered. Emma Thompson. Sirens grew louder. Another bike roared up. A younger rider, also in a Hells Angels vest, leaped off. Bear, what happened? He stared at Emma. You helped him? He needed it, she said. Paramedics arrived, praising her quick thinking. Aspirin probably saved him. As they loaded Bear, he grabbed her wrist. Tell him Bear sent you. The younger guy, Jax, handed her a card, a phone number, and a winged bear logo. Call tomorrow. Bear'll want to thank you. Emma nodded, dazed, clutching $1.50 in change. As the ambulance sped off, the clerk muttered, You're gonna regret that. Walking home, Emma's mind churned. Had she invited trouble? But a man was alive because of her. That had to count. By 12:30 a.m., she slipped into her apartment. Her sitter, Mrs. Garcia, dozed beside Liam. Emma paid her, carried Liam to bed, and stared at the card under the kitchen's dim light. Who was Bear? What had she done? She didn't know yet, but she was about to find out. The ambulance tore through Detroit's dark streets, its sirens fading as paramedics worked to stabilize Bear. Emma stood alone in the gas station parking lot, the fluorescent lights buzzing overhead like a bad omen. Her hands trembled, clutching the $1.50 change from her last ATM, Liam's lunch money, now spent on a stranger. Jax, the younger biker, paced nearby, phone pressed to his ear, his face tight with worry. He's gonna pull through, right? He asked the remaining paramedic. Thanks to her, the medic said, nodding at Emma. That aspirin bought critical minutes. Jax turned, his eyes red and intense. You don't get it. Bear's not just some guy. He's everything to us. Emma shifted uncomfortably. I just did what anyone would. Jax shook his head. No. Most people see the vest, the tattoos, and run. As the ambulance doors closed, Bear pulled his oxygen mask aside, locking eyes with Emma. Thank you, he mouthed. She nodded, unsure what it meant. Jack stepped closer, his voice softer. You got kids, work? The question caught her off guard, but his tone wasn't threatening. A son, Liam, 7. 2 jobs, dollar store and diner. Barely getting by. Jax's gaze flicked to her threadbare jacket, the hole in her sneaker. Yeah, he said quietly. I see that. He pulled out a thick wad of cash, peeling off bills. For the aspirin, your time, what you did. Emma stepped back, hands raised. No, I didn't do it for money. Jax paused, studying her like she was a puzzle. Then why? Because he was dying, she said simply. He stared, then tucked the cash away and handed her the card again, white with a phone number and a winged bear logo. Call this tomorrow afternoon. Bear will want to thank you himself. Emma took it, planning to toss it later. I'll think about it, please, Jax said, almost pleading. Just call. He climbed onto his bike, glanced back. You're a good person, Emma Thompson. Don't let anyone tell you different, and roared off. The clerk, still in the doorway, shook his head. You're in deep now, lady. Emma started the 1.5-mile walk home, the night pressing in. Her mind replayed the clerk's warning. Those bikers are trouble. Stories of Hell's Angels, drugs, violence, crime swirled in her head. Had she made a mistake? Her mom's death haunted her. A heart attack on a crowded sidewalk, ignored until it was too late. Emma had been 14, helpless. Tonight she'd acted, but at what cost? The $1.50 in her pocket wouldn't buy Liam breakfast. She pictured his face, trusting, unaware of their reality. By 12:30 a.m., she slipped into her apartment. Mrs. Garcia, her neighbor and sitter, dozed on the couch with Liam curled beside her. Emma gently woke her, paid $10 from her tips, and carried Liam to bed. Love you, Mom, he mumbled. Love you more, she whispered, tucking him in. In the kitchen, she sat under the dim bulb, staring at the card. The winged bear logo glinted, both inviting and ominous. She pulled out her gratitude jar, a chipped mason jar her mom had used for canning, and scribbled on a scrap of paper. 1. Liam's safe. 2. Helped a man live. 3. Tomorrow's another chance. She dropped it in, but doubt gnawed. Across town, in a hospital room, Bear, hooked to monitors, rasped to Jax, "Find her." "Get everyone together." Her 5 a.m. alarm jarred her awake. The pantry offered stale bread and a smear of peanut butter. She spread it thin for Liam, forcing a smile as he ate. "Special breakfast today, bud." He didn't complain, just grinned. A knock at 7 a.m. startled her. Mrs. Garcia stood in the doorway, arms crossed, her face a mix of worry and disapproval. Word's out. You helped a Hell's Angel last night?" Emma's stomach dropped. News traveled fast in their tight-knit block. He was having a heart attack. "I couldn't walk away." Mrs. Garcia's eyes narrowed. "Mija, those bikers are bad news. Drugs, fights, jail time. You've got Liam to protect." "He was a person, Mrs. G. A human being." Mrs. Garcia sighed. "Your heart's too big. That's gonna hurt you one day." She left, leaving Emma shaken. At the dollar store, Emma stocked shelves on autopilot, her mind replaying Mrs. Garcia's words. During a break, her coworker Tina, a blunt woman with pink-streaked hair, noticed. "You okay, girl?" "You look spooked." Emma spilled the story. The gas station, Bear, the aspirin. Tina's eyes widened. "A Hell's Angel? You're either a saint or insane. Or both," Emma muttered. "Mrs. Garcia thinks I screwed up." Tina leaned in. "You saved a guy's life. That's not a screw-up. But be careful. Bikers don't exactly hand out thank you notes." On her lunch break, Emma pulled out the card, tracing the logo. She typed a text to the number. "This is Emma Thompson. Jax gave me this." Before she could overthink, she hit send. Her phone rang instantly, unknown number. Heart pounding, she let it go to voicemail. A minute later, she played it. "Emma, it's Jax. Bear wants to meet you today. Murphy's Grill on Woodward, 3 p.m. It's important." "Please come," Tina overheard. "You going?" "I don't know." "What if it's trouble?" "What if it's not?" "Could be a free coffee." Tina grinned, but Emma's gut churned. She was off at 2:30 p.m. She could make it. But what would people think? Mrs. Garcia's warning echoed. As she left the store, she noticed 2 motorcycles across the street. The riders in black vests nodded respectfully before riding off. Her pulse raced. What had she stepped into? The bus to Woodward felt like a countdown. As it rounded the corner, she saw them. Dozens of Harleys parked in neat rows outside Murphy's Grill, chrome gleaming in the afternoon sun. Bikers stood along the sidewalk, men with weathered faces, women with tough postures, all in vests with patches, silent, watching. Emma's hands shook. She almost stayed on the bus, but something, maybe her mom's voice, pushed her forward. As she stepped off, the bikers nodded, one by one. An older man with a gray ponytail tipped his cap. Her heart hammered. What did this mean? She pushed open the diner's door. Every table was filled with bikers, the room dead quiet. All eyes turned to her. Jax emerged from the back, smiling. Emma, you came. Bear's waiting. As they walked through the diner, something extraordinary happened. The bikers stood one by one like a wave of respect rippling through the room. Emma's breath caught. She didn't understand it, but it felt heavy, sacred. Jax led her to a corner booth where Bear sat, bandaged but upright, his presence commanding despite the hospital pallor. Emma Thompson, he said, voice gravelly. Sit. She slid into the booth, nerves electric. Doc says I'd be dead without you. Heart attack. I'm just glad you're okay, she said softly. Bear studied her. Jax says you wouldn't take money. 2 jobs, a kid, and you spent your last $8 on me. Why? Emma swallowed. It wasn't about money. You needed help. Bear leaned forward, eyes piercing. Tomorrow morning, something's gonna happen. Don't be scared. Trust me. What do you mean? She asked, voice barely steady. He smiled faintly. You'll see. He stood wincing and shook her hand. Thank you, Emma. He left cash on the table and walked out with Jax. Emma sat alone, surrounded by silent bikers, her mind spinning. An older woman in a vest leaned over. You did good, hon. Real good, Emma nodded, dazed. Outside, the engines revved, a low rumble that shook her bones. She caught the bus home, the pit in her stomach growing. Had she just walked into something she couldn't escape? Emma woke to a low, earth-shaking rumble, like a storm rolling in. Her apartment windows rattled. Heart-pounding, she rushed to the curtain and peeked out. Her quiet Detroit street was unrecognizable, lined with over 150 motorcycles, chrome glinting in the dawn light. Black-vested bikers stood in formation, silent and imposing. "Mom, why are there so many motorcycles?" Liam asked, rubbing sleep from his eyes. Emma threw on a hoodie, her hands shaking as she grabbed Liam's. "Stay close, bud." She stepped outside, the air thick with tension. Neighbors spilled onto porches, faces pale with fear. Curtains twitched. Doors slammed. Mrs. Garcia, phone in hand, shouted, "Police! There's a gang on our street." Mr. Patel, a wiry Indian-American dad from next door, stormed toward Emma, his voice sharp. "What did you do? You brought these bikers here?" "Our kids live here!" The crowd grew, neighbors muttering, pointing. A young mom, clutching her toddler, hissed, "You've endangered us all." Liam clung tighter, his voice small. "Mom, I'm scared." Emma pulled him close. "It's okay," she lied, her pulse racing. She scanned the sea of leather vests, searching for answers. Jack stepped forward, hands raised for calm. "Folks, we're not here for trouble." Mr. Patel cut in. "Then why are you here?" Jack's voice was steady. "Emma saved a man's life 2 nights ago. Our leader, Bear. We're here to help her." Skepticism rippled through the crowd. A semi-truck rolled up, its doors opening as bikers began unloading boxes. Furniture, groceries, clothes. Jax faced the neighbors. "I'm Jax with Rosie's Riders, a non-profit Bear founded after his daughter, Rosie, died of cancer. We've helped over 4,000 families, medical bills, homes, jobs." Murmurs shifted. Mr. Patel's eyes widened. "Rosie's Riders? You paid for my sister's chemo in Chicago 2 years ago." A woman gasped. "You covered my son's asthma inhaler last summer." Another voice. "They saved my cousin's house from foreclosure." Mrs. Garcia lowered her phone, her face softening. "Lord, we got you all wrong." Bear emerged from the truck, moving slowly, still recovering. The crowd parted as he approached Emma. He turned to the neighbors, his voice gravelly but strong. "I get it. You saw the bikes, the vests, the tattoos, and you got scared. That's human. But Emma?" He pointed to her. "She didn't see any of that. She saw a man dying and used her last 8, her son's lunch money, to save my life." Silence fell, heavy and humbling. Mr. Patel stepped forward, head bowed. "I judged you. I was wrong." He extended a hand. Bear shook it. One by one, neighbors approached, apologizing, shaking hands. Mrs. Garcia hugged Emma. "I'm sorry, Mika. You were braver than us all." Bear turned to Emma, handing her an envelope. Her hands trembled as she opened it, a $30,000 check. "For rent, bills, whatever you need," he said. Then a letter on Rosie's Riders letterhead. "Outreach Director, $55,000 a year, full benefits, health insurance, start in 2 weeks." Emma's knees buckled. She sank to the grass, tears streaming. Liam knelt beside her. "Mom, why are you crying?" "Happy tears, buddy," she choked out. Bear wasn't done. He pressed a car key into her hand. "Your Ford, towed from impound, fully repaired. It's around the corner." Emma stared, speechless. "Why all this?" Bear's eyes glistened. 20 years ago, I lost Rosie because we couldn't afford treatment in time. I swore no one else would lose what I did. You saved me with your last dollars, no hesitation. That's who the world needs." Jax waved toward the truck. "There's more." Inside, a new couch, a kitchen table, a bed for Liam with superhero sheets, groceries, toys, clothes. Emma laughed through her tears, disbelief mixing with joy. "This is too much. It's not enough," Bear said. "But it's a start." Neighbors, once terrified, stepped up. Mr. Patel grabbed a box. "Where's this go?" Mrs. Garcia directed bikers with furniture. The young mom who'd hidden her kid an hour ago now helped carry toys. The street transformed, fear melting into unity. Bear stood beside Emma. "We're building a community center here. Thompson Hub named after you." Emma shook her head. "You can't." "I can, and I am." Liam tugged her hand, eyes wide. "Mom, they got me a bike." His grin was pure joy, no trace of fear. Something broke open in Emma. Hope, real and raw for the first time in years. "Thank you," she whispered to Bear. He smiled. "You already thanked me. You saw me, not the vest. That's all I needed." By noon, Emma's apartment was unrecognizable. The sagging couch was gone, replaced by a sturdy gray one with plush cushions. The wobbly card table became a solid oak dining set. Liam's mattress on the floor, now a proper bed with a frame and bright sheets. Bikers and neighbors worked side by side, Mr. Patel assembling Liam's bed, Mrs. Garcia stocking the kitchen with new dishes, Liam darting between rooms, marveling at his toys. Emma stood in the chaos, overwhelmed. Bear sat on the new couch, patting the spot beside him. "Sit, let's talk about the job." She sank down, still reeling. Rosie's Riders gets hundreds of requests monthly. Single parents, veterans, families drowning in bills. "I need someone who knows struggle, who sees hearts, not just problems." "That's you," Emma nodded, tears welling again. "I'll do anything to help." Bear pulled out a folder with blueprints. Thompson Hub, job training, food bank, after-school programs, a clinic. Right here, where it's needed most. He pointed to the title, Thompson Hub. "You saved my life with $8. That's worth naming something after." She wiped her eyes. "When do I start?" 2 weeks. Quit your other jobs. Health insurance kicks in day one. Covers Liam's meds, no copays. Emma's breath caught. No more choosing between medicine and groceries. Bear handed her a vest, not Hell's Angels, but Rosie's Riders with the winged bear logo. "Your family now." Her first task, find someone local who needed help. Emma didn't hesitate. "Mr. Lee, down the hall. Korean vet, elderly, can't afford his insulin." Bear nodded. "Let's go." They walked to Mr. Lee's door with Jack's. The old man opened it, surprised. "Emma, what's this?" "Mr. Lee, these are my friends. We're here to help." They sat in his cramped living room as Bear explained Rosie's Riders. "What do you need most, sir?" Bear asked. Mr. Lee's voice shook. "My insulin. I've been rationing, cutting doses." Bear made a call. 3-month supply, delivered today, no cost." Mr. Lee grabbed Emma's hand, tears in his eyes. "You did this?" "We did," Emma said. "Together." As they left, she turned to Bear. "This is the best job I'll ever have." He grinned. "I know. You get what it means to need help and to give it." Back at Emma's, the celebration continued. Bikers shared stories. Neighbors laughed. Liam played with his new bike. For the first time in years, Emma didn't dread tomorrow. It wasn't just okay, it was going to be beautiful. Emma Thompson stood in her transformed apartment, sunlight streaming through the window onto a sturdy oak dining table, a gift from Rosie's Riders just yesterday. The sagging couch was gone, replaced by a plush gray one. Liam's mattress on the floor had become a proper bed with Spider-Man sheets. His new bike parked proudly by the door. Groceries filled the pantry, clothes hung neatly in the closet. And for the first time in years, Emma didn't wake up calculating how to stretch $8. But as she sipped coffee, the weight of yesterday's events lingered. Liam bounded in, clutching a new backpack stuffed with school supplies. "Mom, can I ride my bike to the bus stop?" Emma hesitated, glancing out the window. The street was quiet now, no motorcycles in sight, but whispers of the bikers' arrival still buzzed among neighbors. "Not yet, bud. Let's walk together." She wasn't sure if the unease was hers or the neighborhood's. Mrs. Garcia's warning from yesterday echoed. "Your heart's too big. That's gonna hurt you." Despite the apologies, not everyone was convinced. Mr. Patel had shaken Bear's hand, but others, like the young mom across the street, still eyed Emma warily, as if she'd invited chaos. At the bus stop, Mrs. Garcia approached, softer now. "Mia, I meant well yesterday. Just worried for you and Liam." Emma nodded. "I know. Thanks for looking out." At the dollar store, Emma gave her 2 weeks' notice. Her manager, a gruff man named Carl, raised an eyebrow. "Quitting for some biker charity? Hope you know what you're doing." Emma forced a smile. "It's a good opportunity." At the diner, Rosie was more supportive. "You're gonna change lives, hun. Proud of you." But as Emma left, she overheard a customer mutter, "Hell's Angels? That's no charity." She's naive. The doubt stung, but Emma pushed it aside. She drove her newly repaired Ford to Rosie's Riders' office, a modest storefront a few miles away. Inside, Jax greeted her, handing over a nameplate. Emma Thompson, Outreach Director. "Welcome to the team," he said. The office hummed with volunteers, some in leather vests, others in casual clothes, sorting donations and answering phones. Bear, still recovering, sat at a desk reviewing papers. "Ready to start?" he asked. "Born ready," Emma said, her nerves tingling. Bear explained her role. Review applications from struggling families, visit them, connect them to resources, medical aid, housing, job training. You know what it's like to scrape by, he said. That's why you're perfect for this. He handed her a stack of files. Start here. Pick one for today. Emma flipped through the applications, her heart catching on a name. Mr. Lee, the elderly Korean veteran down her hall. His file noted insulin costs he couldn't cover, rationing doses to survive. She remembered his tired eyes, the way he'd shuffle to his mailbox. Him, she said. Bear nodded. Good choice. Let's go. They drove to Emma's building, Jack's in tow. Mr. Lee opened his door slowly, surprised to see Emma with two bikers. Emma, what's going on? She smiled warmly. Mr. Lee, these are my friends from Rosie's Riders. We're here to help. In his cramped living room, Bear explained the nonprofit's mission, born from his daughter Rosie's death to cancer. What do you need most, sir? Bear asked. Mr. Lee's hands shook. My insulin. I'm cutting pills in half, but I'm almost out. Bear made a call on the spot. 3-month supply, delivered today, no cost. Mr. Lee's eyes welled up. He grabbed Emma's hand. You did this for me? We did it, Emma said. Together. As they left, Mr. Lee's gratitude lingered like a warm ember in her chest. This is the best job I'll ever have, she told Bear. He grinned. Told you. You get what it means to need, and to give. Back at the office, Bear showed her the benefits packet. Full health insurance, no copays, covering Liam's allergy meds completely. Day 1, Bear said. No more choosing between medicine and food. Emma's throat tightened. She'd spent years juggling those choices, and now they were gone. Bear handed her a Rosie's Riders vest, the winged bear logo stitched on the back. Your family now. Wear it proud. Emma slipped it on, catching her reflection in a nearby window. She barely recognized the woman staring back, stronger somehow. First official task, Bear said. Find another person in your neighborhood who needs us. Use those instincts that saved me. Emma thought of Mrs. Carter, a widow 2 doors down, struggling with utility bills since her husband's death. I'll visit her tomorrow, she promised. Bear nodded. We'll follow your lead. As she drove home, the city felt different, less heavy. But pulling into her street, she noticed curtains twitching, eyes peering. A neighbor, Mr. Rodriguez, leaned on his porch, watching her forward. Heard you're working with those bikers now, he called, his tone skeptical. Hope you're not in over your head. I'm helping people, Emma said firmly. That's all, he shrugged, unconvinced. Inside, Liam was sprawled on the new couch, drawing in a sketchbook from the donation hall. Look, Mom, I drew our new table, Emma laughed, ruffling his hair. The apartment felt like a home now, not just a shelter. But as she tucked Liam in, doubt crept back. What if the neighbors were right? What if Rosie's Riders wasn't what it seemed? She pulled out her gratitude jar, scribbling, 1, Liam's happy. 2, helped Mr. Lee. 3, a job that matters. As she dropped the note in, her phone buzzed, a text from Jax. Thompson Hub groundbreaking next month. You're the star. Emma stared at the words. A community center named after her? It felt unreal. She glanced at the Rosie's Riders vest hanging by the door. Trouble or not, she'd made a choice to help Bear, and it had led to this. For now, that was enough. That evening, Mrs. Garcia knocked. Saw you with Mr. Lee today, she said, her voice softer than before. Heard you got his medicine covered? Emma nodded. Rosie's Riders did. Mrs. Garcia hesitated. Maybe I misjudged them. You're doing good, mija. Emma smiled, but the weight of the neighborhood's eyes lingered. She was changing lives, but not everyone trusted it. Yet, as she lay in bed, the rumble of yesterday's motorcycles echoed in her mind. Tomorrow she'd visit Mrs. Carter. Tomorrow she'd keep proving kindness wasn't a mistake. Tomorrow she'd build something bigger than herself. Emma Thompson sat at her desk in the Rosie's Riders office, a small storefront humming with purpose. Her nameplate, Emma Thompson, Outreach Director, gleamed under fluorescent lights, still surreal after a month. Stacks of applications covered her desk, families needing medical aid, veterans seeking housing, single parents drowning in debt. Each file felt like a mirror to her own past, when $8 was all that stood between her and despair. Now, with a $55,000 salary and Liam's allergy meds fully covered, Emma could breathe. But the weight of her new role pressed hard. Her first month had been a whirlwind. She'd visited a dozen families, connecting them to resources. Mrs. Carter, the widow down the hall, now had her utilities paid for 6 months, her smile brighter than Emma had ever seen. A young single dad, Miguel, got job training and a grocery voucher, his gratitude overwhelming. "You gave me a lifeline," he'd said, shaking her hand. Emma felt the impact. Each person helped was a ripple of her choice to save Bear that night at the gas station. Liam thrived too. His new school supplies sparked a love for drawing, and his asthma inhaler sat full on the counter, no more rationing. At night, Emma tucked him into his new bed, reading superhero comics from the donation hall. "Mom, you're like a hero now," he said one evening, eyes wide. She laughed, but the words stuck. Was she? Or was she just a woman trying to do right? The neighborhood was warming to Rosie's riders, but not without hiccups. Mrs. Garcia now volunteered, helping sort donations, but others, like Mr. Rodriguez, remained skeptical. "Charity's nice, but bikers?" he'd muttered at a block party. "Something's off." Emma ignored the whispers, focusing on work, but doubt lingered like a shadow. Then came the video. A neighbor's shaky phone footage, 150 motorcycles flooding their street, Emma in the center, hit social media. Posted with the caption, "Biker Gang Invades Detroit Neighborhood," it went viral overnight, racking up 200,000 views. Comments poured in. "Hell's Angels are criminals." "This is a PR stunt." "She's glorifying gang culture." "Fake charity scam." Emma read them at the diner during a break, her stomach churning. Rosie slid into the booth, noticing her pale face. "Ignore the haters, hun. People fear what they don't understand." But the negativity stung. Emma had saved Bear's life, and Rosie's riders had transformed hers. $30,000, a fixed car, a home full of hope. Yet online she was naive, a pawn. She showed Jax the comments at the office. He shrugged. "Happens every time we get attention. Keep doing the work, they'll see." Bear, now stronger but still on light duty, agreed. "Focus on the families. The noise will fade," Emma tried. She visited a family that day, a mom named Keisha, whose daughter needed surgery they couldn't afford. Emma arranged funding through Rosie's riders, sitting with Keisha as she cried tears of relief. "You don't know what this means," Keisha said. Emma did know. She'd been there, counting pennies for Liam's meds. Back at the office, she logged the case, her gratitude jar in mind. 1. Liam's drawings. 2. Keisha's hope. 3. A purpose. The tide began to turn online. Families helped by Rosie's riders posted their own stories. A veteran in Toledo. "They got me off the streets." A grandma in Flint. "Paid my mortgage when I had nothing." A teen in Ann Arbor. "Scholarship for college." Thanks to them. The hashtag Dumber Rosie's riders trended, drowning out some hate. Views hit 1 million. Emma's phone buzzed with a text from Jax. "Check the video now." Truth's winning. She watched as comments shifted. "I judged too fast." "This is real." Faith in humanity restored. But not all were convinced. A local blog ran a hit piece, "Hell's Angels Front." Rosie's riders raises questions. Emma's heart sank. What if the skeptics were right? What if she'd bet her and Liam's future on a mirage? At home, Liam sensed her mood. "Mom, are the bikers bad?" he asked, clutching a toy motorcycle. Emma knelt beside him. "No, bud. They look tough, but they help people. Like we helped Bear." Liam nodded, reassured, but Emma wasn't so sure. She called Mrs. Garcia that evening. "Am I crazy for trusting them?" Mrs. Garcia chuckled. "You're not crazy. You're brave. I was wrong about them, and so are those keyboard warriors." The next day, Emma dove back into work, determined to prove the doubters wrong. She met with a veteran named Tony, living in his car, his pride battered. "I just need a job," he said quietly. Emma enrolled him in Rosie's Riders job training program and secured temporary housing. His handshake was firm, his eyes grateful. "You're giving me a shot," he said. That's all I needed. Bear checked in at the office. "Heard about the online mess. You okay?" Emma nodded. "Just want to keep helping." He smiled. "That's why you're here. Thompson Hub breaks ground in 3 weeks. You'll lead the ceremony." Emma's breath caught. A community center named after her. It still felt like a dream. That night, she added to her gratitude jar. 1. Liam's trust. 2. Tony's second chance. 3. The fight's worth it. The viral video's views climbed to 1.5 million, and your Rosie's riders trended higher. The hate lingered, but so did the support. Emma lay awake, the rumble of those motorcycles echoing in her mind. She'd started this with $8 and a choice. Now she was part of something bigger, something that could change lives if she could weather the storm. 3 weeks into her role as outreach director for Rosie's Riders, Emma Thompson stood on a vacant lot in her Detroit neighborhood, clutching a ceremonial shovel. The lot, once overgrown with weeds and littered with broken bottles, was now cleared, ready for the Thompson Hub, a community center named after her. The air buzzed with anticipation as volunteers, neighbors, and bikers in Rosie's Riders vests gathered under a crisp October sky. A small stage held a microphone, a ribbon, and a banner. Thompson Hub, building hope together. Emma's stomach fluttered. She wasn't used to being the center of attention. Liam bounced beside her, wearing a miniature Rosie's Riders vest Bear had given him.
"Mom, you're gonna cut the ribbon, right?"
he asked, eyes sparkling. Emma ruffled his hair. "We'll do it together, bud." Across the lot, Bear stood with Jax, both nodding encouragement. The crowd grew. Mrs. Garcia, Mr. Patel, even Mr. Lee, whose insulin was now fully covered thanks to Emma's first outreach case. But not everyone was smiling. Mr. Rodriguez lingered at the edge, arms crossed, his skepticism a silent challenge. Local news vans parked nearby, cameras rolling. The viral video of the bikers' arrival on Emma's street had hit 2 million views, with Rosie's Riders trending across Michigan. Stories from families helped by the nonprofit, housing for veterans, medical bills paid, scholarships for kids, had shifted public perception, but pockets of doubt remained. A recent blog post, "Rosie's Riders Charity or Cover," had stirred whispers. Emma pushed the thought aside, focusing on the moment. Bear took the stage first, his voice steady despite his recent heart attack. 20 years ago, I lost my daughter Rosie to cancer because we couldn't afford treatment. I started Rosie's Riders to make sure no one else loses what I did. Today we break ground on the Thompson Hub, named for a woman who saved my life with her last $8. The crowd applauded, but Emma felt her cheeks burn. She didn't feel like a hero, just a mom who'd done what felt right. Bear gestured to her. "Emma, come say a few words." Her heart raced as she stepped up, Liam at her side. The microphone felt heavy in her hand. "A month ago, I was counting pennies for my son's lunch," she began, her voice shaky but growing stronger. "I helped a stranger because it was the right thing to do. Rosie's Riders showed me kindness isn't just free, it builds something. This hub is for all of us to lift each other up. It's not about me, it's about choosing kindness over fear." The crowd erupted, cameras flashing. Liam grinned, squeezing her hand. As she and Liam shoveled the first dirt, cheers rang out. Mrs. Garcia hugged her tightly. "You're making us proud, mija." Mr. Lee, leaning on a cane, nodded. "You're a blessing." Even Mr. Patel clapped, his earlier doubts softened. But Mr. Rodriguez stayed back, muttering to a neighbor, "Hope this isn't too good to be true." Emma caught his words, a pang in her chest. She wanted to prove him wrong, not with words, but with action. Back at the Rosie's Riders office, Emma dove into her next case. The file was for Maria Alvarez, a Latina single mom of 3, facing eviction after losing her job at a factory. Emma drove to Maria's apartment, a cramped unit in a building much like her own. Maria's eyes were red from crying, her kids playing quietly in the corner. "I've got 2 weeks before we're out," Maria said, voice breaking. "I don't know where we'll go." Emma sat with her, listening. "Rosie's Riders can help. We'll cover your rent for 3 months and enroll you in our job training program. You're not alone." Maria's hands shook as she hugged Emma. "Thank you. I thought we were done for." Emma handed her a grocery voucher and a card with the office number. "Call anytime." Driving back, Emma felt that familiar ember. Helping Maria wasn't just work. It was personal. At the office, Jack showed her a new batch of applications. "You're a natural," he said. "Bear knew you'd get it." Bear, now cleared for light work, joined them. Thompson Hub's on track. Job training, food bank, clinic, after-school programs. "You'll help run it." Emma nodded, overwhelmed but determined. "I'm ready." Media attention grew. A local TV station aired a segment on the groundbreaking, calling Emma Detroit's unsung hero. The clip spread online, boosting Dr. Rosie's Riders to 3 million views. But with visibility came more scrutiny. A new wave of comments hit. "Bikers don't change. This is a front. She's in too deep, poor kid." Emma read them at home, her confidence wavering. Liam noticed. "Mom, why are you sad?" "You're helping people," she hugged him. "Just noise, bud. We'll keep going." Mrs. Garcia stopped by that evening, bringing homemade tamales. Saw you on TV, mija. You're doing big things, Emma sighed. Not everyone thinks so. Some still say the bikers are trouble. Mrs. Garcia shook her head. Let them talk. You're showing the truth. Her words bolstered Emma, but the doubt lingered. What if the skeptics found something to derail this? The next day, Emma visited another family, a retired teacher, Mrs. Jenkins, struggling with medical debt. Rosie's riders paid off her hospital bill, and Emma connected her to a free clinic for follow-ups. Mrs. Jenkins wept, gripping Emma's hand. You're an angel, Emma smiled, just paying it forward. Back at the office, she added to her gratitude jar. 1. Liam's pride. 2. Maria's relief. Art. The hub's future. As the week ended, Bear called a meeting. The hub's construction is moving fast. We need you to speak at the opening in 2 months, Emma. Show the world what we're about. Emma nodded, her nerves tingling. The online hate still stung, but the faces of Maria, Mr. Lee, and Mrs. Jenkins grounded her. She'd started with $8 and a choice. Now she was building a legacy, one shovel, one family at a time. 2 months after the groundbreaking, Emma Thompson stood inside the newly built Thompson hub, her heart racing as she surveyed the bustling community center. The once vacant lot in her Detroit neighborhood now held a sleek, single-story building with floor-to-ceiling windows, a food bank, a job training classroom, a small clinic, and an after-school space filled with colorful tables. The sign outside read, Thompson Hub, where kindness builds community. Today was opening day, and Emma, as outreach director for Rosie's Riders, was set to cut the ribbon. Liam tugged at her Rosie's Riders vest, his own miniature version slightly crooked. Mom, there's so many people, he said, pointing to the crowd outside. Neighbors, volunteers, bikers, and media crews. The viral video of the bikers' arrival had surged to 5 million views, with Rosie's Riders trending nationally. Stories of the nonprofit's work, paying medical bills, saving homes, funding education, had inspired thousands. But online skeptics still posted, too good to be true, biker front. Emma shook off the noise, focusing on the moment. Inside, Bear and Jax finalized details. You ready? Bear asked, his health much improved. Emma nodded, gripping the oversized scissors. Let's do this. The crowd outside swelled. Mrs. Garcia, Mr. Patel, Mr. Lee, and even Mr. Rodriguez, whose skepticism had softened but not vanished. Local news anchors mingled with families Emma had helped, like Maria Alvarez, whose eviction was halted, and Mrs. Jenkins, whose medical debt was cleared. Bear took the microphone first. Rosie's Riders started from loss, my daughter Rosie gone too soon. This hub is her legacy, and Emma's, he gestured to her. She saved my life with $8 and a heart bigger than this city. Today we open a place for second chances. Cheers erupted. Emma stepped up, Liam at her side, her voice steadier than at the groundbreaking. This hub isn't mine, it's ours. It's for every family who's struggled, every kid who needs a safe place, everyone who's felt alone. We're here to lift each other up. She and Liam cut the ribbon, the crowd roaring as confetti flew. Cameras flashed. Kids rushed inside to explore. Mrs. Garcia hugged Emma. Mija, this is a miracle. Mr. Lee, his insulin now steady, shook her hand. You're changing lives. Maria Alvarez approached, her 3 kids trailing. We're still in our home because of you, she said, voice thick. Emma smiled. Because of us. The hub buzzed with activity. Volunteers ran a food pantry giveaway, handing out groceries to dozens of families. The clinic offered free checkups. The job training room hosted its first resume workshop. Liam joined the after-school program, drawing with other kids under a volunteer's watch. Emma walked the halls, her Rosie's Riders vest a badge of purpose. She'd helped 50 families in 2 months. Medical bills, rent, job placements. Each case felt like rewriting her own past. But the online criticism lingered. A new article, Rosie's Riders, Charity or Cult, had popped up, questioning the nonprofit's funding and biker ties. Comments stung, Emma's brainwashed. Hell's Angels scam. At the office, Jax showed her the latest on Rosie's Riders posts, mostly positive, with families sharing stories of help. Focus on this, he said. The haters don't know you. Bear added, they're loud, but they're few. Keep going, Emma did. That week, she met the Carter family, James and Tasha, parents of a teen girl, Aaliyah, who needed physical therapy after a car accident. Medical costs had drained them. James worked 2 jobs, Tasha none since the crash. Emma sat in their small living room listening.
Rosie's Riders will cover Aaliyah's therapy for a year, she said.
And Tasha will enroll you in our job training, childcare certification if you want. Tasha's eyes welled up.
You're giving us our lives back.
James shook Emma's hand. Heard about you on TV. Didn't believe it till now. Emma handed them a grocery voucher and her card. Call me anytime. Driving back, she felt that familiar ember. Helping wasn't just a job. It was her calling. At home, Liam showed her a drawing of the hub, complete with a tiny stick figure Emma in a vest. You're my hero, Mom, he said. Her heart swelled, but the online hate gnawed.
What if it grew louder?
Media attention exploded post-opening. A national news outlet picked up the story, dubbing Emma the $8 hero. The segment featured her speech, Bear's mission, and families like Maria's. Views soared to 10 million, with Rosie's Riders trending globally. Support flooded in. Donations, volunteers, even a letter from a senator praising the hub. But so did the backlash. A new wave of comments. She's a figurehead for criminals. This won't last. Emma read them late at night, doubt creeping in. Mrs. Garcia stopped by with coffee. You're on the news, mija. Ignore the trolls, Emma sighed. It's hard when they're so loud. Mrs. Garcia patted her hand. You're louder, your work is. Look at this neighborhood. Emma glanced out her window. Kids played on new bikes. Neighbors chatted, fear replaced by community. Mr. Rodriguez even waved, a small gesture. You're right, Emma said. This is real. The next day, Emma helped a young couple, the Wilsons, facing foreclosure. Rosie's Riders paid 3 months' mortgage and enrolled them in financial counseling. We thought we'd lose everything, Mrs. Wilson said, hugging Emma. Back at the hub, Emma logged the case, adding to her gratitude jar. 1. Liam's art. 2. The Carter's hope. 3. The hub's open. Bear checked in. You're leading this now, Emma. The hub's yours to shape. She nodded, nerves mixing with pride. The opening was a triumph, but the online storm loomed. She'd face it just as she'd faced that gas station moment. Kindness had brought her here. It would carry her forward. A month after the Thompson hub's opening, Emma Thompson stood in the bustling community center, watching volunteers distribute groceries from the food pantry. The Detroit air was colder now, November's chill seeping through the hub's windows, but inside warmth radiated. Kids laughed in the after-school room where Liam sketched with new friends. The clinic hummed with free checkups, and the job training classroom buzzed with adults learning skills like coding and childcare. Emma's Rosie's Riders vest felt like a second skin. Her role as outreach director no longer a dream, but a daily reality. She'd helped over 80 families since starting. Medical bills, rent, job placements, each case a reminder of her own past struggles. Maria Alvarez, now in job training, waved from the classroom. Mr. Lee, his insulin steady, volunteered at the pantry. The hub was thriving, but Emma sensed strain. The staff, mostly volunteers, some bikers, some locals, was stretched thin. Applications piled up faster than they could process, and Bear had hinted at a looming issue. At the Rosie's Riders office, Bear called a meeting. Jax, Emma, and a handful of volunteers gathered around a cluttered table. We've got a problem, Bear said, his voice gruff but calm. Our main donor, a trucking company, pulled out. They're spooked by the online rumors tying us to Hell's Angels. We're short $50,000 for the hub's operations next quarter. Emma's stomach dropped. The viral video, now at 12 million views, had brought donations, but also relentless criticism. Biker scam. Emma's their puppet. Jax leaned forward. We've got enough for a month, maybe 2. After that, we cut programs. Emma thought of the families relying on the hub, kids like Liam, parents like Maria. We can't let that happen, she said. Bear nodded. You're our leader now, Emma. Got ideas? She hesitated, then squared her shoulders. Fundraising. A community event, show people what we do, get them invested. We'll prove the critics wrong. The team rallied. Emma proposed a Hope Rides festival at the hub. Food, music, stories from families helped, and a motorcycle showcase to draw crowds. Make it open, transparent, she said. Let people see the real Rosie's Riders. Bear grinned. That's the spirit. You're in charge. Emma felt the weight, but also the spark. This was her chance to lead. She recruited Mrs. Garcia to organize food stalls, Mr. Patel to handle logistics, and Maria Alvarez to share her story. Jax and the bikers polished their Harleys for display. Emma reached out to local businesses, pitching sponsorships. A diner owner, Rosie's old boss, donated catering. A radio station offered free promotion after airing Emma's $8 hero story, now at 15 million views. But online, the hate grew louder. Charity event? Just a biker PR stunt. Emma ignored it, focusing on the plan. The festival took shape, but Emma's days were relentless. She still visited families like the Nguyens, Vietnamese immigrants struggling with medical debt for their son's diabetes. Sitting in their modest apartment, Emma arranged for Rosie's riders to cover his insulin and enrolled the parents in English classes at the hub. "You've given us hope," Mrs. Nguyen said, tears in her eyes. Emma handed them a grocery voucher. "We're in this together." The ember of purpose burned brighter, but exhaustion crept in. Liam noticed her late nights. "Mom, you're always working," he said, clutching a drawing of the hub. Emma hugged him. "It's for people like us, bud. So no one's scared about tomorrow." He nodded, but she saw worry in his eyes. At the hub, she trained new volunteers, including Maria, who'd completed her childcare certification. "You're my inspiration," Maria told her. Emma smiled, but the funding gap loomed. The Hope Rides Festival arrived on a crisp Saturday. The hub's lot overflowed, hundreds of neighbors, kids, and curious strangers. Motorcycle engines rumbled as bikers showed off chrome classics. Food stalls offered tamales, burgers, and pho. Emma took the stage, her voice steady. "The Thompson hub is about second chances. I was a single mom with $8 scared for my son. Rosie's riders gave me a future. Help us keep giving." Maria spoke next, sharing her eviction scare and new job. Mr. Lee told of his insulin lifeline. The crowd cheered, donations pouring in, $5, $20, $100. A local car dealership pledged $10,000, moved by Maria's story. By day's end, Emma tallied $60,000, enough to cover the gap and expand the clinic. Bear clapped her shoulder. "You pulled it off. Knew you could." Media coverage exploded. A national outlet ran a segment. Detroit's $8 Hero Saves Community Hub. Rosie's riders hit 20 million views, with comments like, "This is what hope looks like." But the backlash persisted. "She's selling a lie. Bikers can't be trusted." At home, Emma read them, doubt flickering. Mrs. Garcia, now a regular at the hub, stopped by. "Mija, you raised $60,000. Trolls don't do that." "You do," Emma added to her gratitude jar. 1. Liam's smile. 2. The Nguyens' hope. 3. The hub's future. The next day, she hired 2 new staff, former clients, including Maria, to handle the growing caseload. The hub's impact deepened. 100 families helped, with more coming. Mr. Rodriguez, once skeptical, volunteered at the pantry. "Guess I was wrong," he admitted. Emma smiled. "You're here now. That's what counts." As she tucked Liam in, he whispered, "Mom, you're making the world better." Her heart swelled. The online storm hadn't stopped, but the hub was proof. Kindness could outshine hate. She was ready for what came next. 5 months into her role as outreach director for Rosie's Riders, Emma Thompson walked the halls of the Thompson Hub, the Detroit Community Center now a beacon of hope. The food pantry bustled, the clinic served dozens daily, and the job training room echoed with the clatter of keyboards. Volunteers, including former clients like Maria Alvarez, now a full-time staffer, kept the hub thriving. Emma had helped over 120 families, rent payments, medical aid, job placements, each case a testament to her $8 choice to save Bear's life. But the spotlight was growing. The viral video of the biker's arrival had hit 25 million views, with I'm Rosie's Riders trending worldwide. National outlets called Emma the $8 hero, and donations poured in, fueling the hub's expansion. Yet online backlash persisted. Biker front for shady dealings. Emma's a naive spokesperson. The comments stung. But the hub's impact, kids like Liam in after-school programs, families like the Nguyens with stable homes, kept her grounded. This morning, a documentary crew from a streaming platform arrived at the hub, cameras trailing Emma as she worked. The director, a sharp woman named Lena, explained, "We're telling stories of unsung heroes. Yours is perfect, a single mom who sparked a movement." Emma shifted uncomfortably. "I'm no hero, just doing what's right," Lena smiled. "That's why people connect with you." The crew followed her to a meeting with a new client, Sarah Jones, a 19-year-old single mom who dropped out of high school when her daughter, Mia, was born. Sarah's file detailed a part-time job at a fast food joint, barely covering rent in a crumbling apartment. Emma met her at the Hub's clinic where Mia got a free checkup. Sarah's eyes darted nervously. "I want better for Mia, but I'm stuck," she said. Emma sat with her, listening. "Rosie's Riders can help. We'll enroll you in our GED program and job training, maybe nursing if you're interested. We'll cover Mia's daycare and your rent for 3 months." Sarah's face lit up. "You mean I could go to school?" Emma nodded, handing her a grocery voucher. "You're not stuck anymore. We've got you." Sarah hugged her, tears falling. "Nobody's ever believed in me like this. The cameras captured it all," Lena whispering. "That's the heart of your story." Emma felt exposed, but pushed through, showing the crew the Hub's programs. Kids painting murals, adults in coding classes, volunteers like Mr. Lee sorting donations. Bear joined, sharing Rosie's story. "Emma's our spark," he told the crew. "She saw me, not the vest, and saved my life. Now she's saving others." Back at home, Emma tucked Liam into bed. He clutched a new drawing, a stick figure Emma with a cape standing by the Hub. "You're famous, Mom," he said, grinning. Emma laughed, but the attention weighed on her. The documentary would reach millions, amplifying both support and scrutiny. She added to her gratitude jar: 1, Liam's joy; 2, Sarah's chance; 3, the Hub's heart. But doubt lingered. What if the critics found something to unravel this? Mrs. Garcia stopped by, bringing empanadas. "Saw the camera crew, Mija. You're putting us on the map," Emma sighed. "I just want to help, not be a celebrity." Mrs. Garcia patted her arm. "You're showing the world what kindness does. That's bigger than fame." Her words steadied Emma, but the online noise grew louder. A new post claimed, "Rosie's Riders funnels money to bikers." Comments piled on. Emma's in over her head. At the Hub the next day, Emma met with Jax. "The documentary's great, but these rumors could scare donors," she said. Jax nodded. "We've got nothing to hide. Invite the skeptics here, let them see." Emma took the idea to Bear, who agreed. "Transparency's our strength. Plan an open house." Emma organized it for next week, inviting community leaders, media, and even critics like Mr. Rodriguez, who'd started volunteering but still questioned the nonprofit's ties. She also visited Sarah again, checking on her GED progress. Sarah beamed, showing her study notes. "I'm going to be a nurse someday, thanks to you." Mia toddled over, offering Emma a crayon drawing. Emma's heart swelled. Moments like this drowned out the hate. But that night, alone, she scrolled through comments. "She's a prop for their agenda." Her chest tightened. She'd been a struggling mom, not a public figure. Could she handle this? Reflecting, Emma pulled out her mom's old photo from a drawer. Smiling, strong, gone too soon from a heart attack ignored by passers-by. "Kindness is free, Em," her mom used to say. Emma had lived that, spending her last $8 on Bear. Now she was building a legacy, but the cost was scrutiny. She called Rosie, her old diner friend. "Am I crazy for this?" Rosie chuckled. "You're not crazy, you're changing lives. The world's just catching up." The open house loomed, a chance to prove the Hub's mission. Emma prepared, nervous but resolute. She'd face the critics, just as she'd faced that gas station moment. Her gratitude jar sat full. 1, Liam's dreams. 2, Sarah's future. 3, Mom's voice in me. The documentary crew wrapped their shoot, Lena promising a release in months. As they left, she told Emma, "You're showing people what's possible." "Keep going," Emma nodded, her resolve hardening. The Hub was real, the help was real, and her choice was real. She'd keep proving it, one family, one day at a time. 6 months after Emma Thompson spent her last $8 to save Bear's life at a Detroit gas station, she stood in the Thompson Hub, now the heart of her neighborhood. The community center thrummed with life. Kids in the after-school program painted murals, the clinic offered free flu shots, and the job training room buzzed with adults learning welding and IT skills. Emma, as outreach director for Rosie's Riders, had helped 150 families, rent aid, medical bills, job placements, each case a ripple from that pivotal night. Today, the Hub hosted an open house to counter online skepticism and showcase its impact. The lot overflowed with visitors, neighbors, city officials, media, and even skeptics like Mr. Rodriguez, who now volunteered regularly. The viral video of the bikers' arrival had hit 30 million views, with Mary Rosie's riders trending globally. Donations had surged after the Hope Rides festival, but so had criticism. Biker front for dirty money. Emma's too good to be true. A documentary crew, set to release their film in months, had amplified her story, dubbing her the $8 hero. Emma felt the weight but stood taller in her Rosie's rider's vest. She took the stage, her voice steady. 6 months ago, I was a single mom scraping by. I helped a stranger because it felt right. Today, the Thompson Hub is proof that kindness builds communities. Come see what we do. Our books are open, our hearts are too. The crowd cheered as Emma led tours. Maria Alvarez, now a Hub staffer, showed the job training room. Mr. Lee, insulin secure, guided guests through the pantry. Sarah Jones, the teen mom, shared her GED progress, her daughter Mia giggling nearby. City Councilor Ms. Harper, a tough but fair woman, approached Emma. I was skeptical, biker rumors and all. But this? She gestured to the bustling hub. This is real. We're partnering with you for city funding. Mr. Rodriguez, once the loudest critic, nodded. I was wrong, Emma. This place is saving us. Volunteers handed out financial reports proving every dollar went to families. A local reporter tweeted, Thompson Hub, transparent, impactful. Rosie's Riders is the real deal. The open house raised $20,000 in donations, securing the Hub's operations for another quarter. Bear clapped Emma's shoulder. You're leading us now. Rosie'd be proud, Jax added. You turned doubters into believers. Emma smiled, but exhaustion tugged. The media spotlight, interviews, articles, the documentary, left little time for Liam or herself. At home, Liam sensed it. Mom, you're always busy, he said, clutching a drawing of them at the Hub. I miss you. Emma's heart ached. She knelt beside him. I'm here, bud. This works for us, for everyone. He hugged her, but his words lingered. That night, she called Rosie, her diner friend. Am I neglecting him? Rosie sighed. You're giving him a future, hun. Balance takes time. Emma added to her gratitude jar. 1. Liam's love. 2. The Hub's trust. She a purpose worth fighting for. The next day, Emma visited a new family, the Thompsons, no relation, a couple with a disabled son, Ethan, needing a wheelchair ramp. Their landlord wouldn't pay, and funds were tight. Emma arranged for Rosie's riders to cover the ramp's cost and enrolled Ethan's mom in a bookkeeping course at the Hub. You're giving us dignity, Mr. Thompson said, shaking her hand. Emma handed them a grocery voucher. We're in this together. Later, Bear called her to the office. Got something special planned. He drove her to the gas station where she'd saved his life 6 months ago, now just a nondescript lot with flickering lights. A small crowd gathered, Jax, Maria, Mrs. Garcia, and a few bikers. Bear unveiled a plaque bolted to the wall. Here, Emma Thompson's $8 kindness saved a life and sparked a movement. Rosie's Riders 2025. Emma's throat tightened. You didn't have to. Bear cut her off. You started this. That night you saw me, not the vest. This marks it. The group clapped and Mrs. Garcia hugged her. Mija, this is your legacy. A local news crew filmed. The story airing that night. Gas station plaque honors Detroit's $8 hero. Online, Rosie's Riders soared, but so did the hate. Staged stunt. Bikers milking her story. Back at the Hub, Emma trained new staff, including Sarah, who'd started her nursing program. You changed my life, Sarah said, her confidence blooming. Emma felt the ember of purpose reignite. The Hub now served 200 families with plans for a second location. But the online criticism gnawed. A new article questioned Bear's past, hinting at old Hell's Angels ties. Emma confronted him. Is there truth to this? I need to know. Bear sighed, his eyes heavy. I was a Hell's Angel years ago. Rough life, bad choices. Rosie's death changed me. I left that world, started this one. Every cent here is clean. Check the books. Emma nodded, trusting him but shaken. She'd bet everything on Rosie's Riders. At home, she pulled out her mom's photo, her words echoing, kindness is free, Em. She'd chosen kindness that night, and it had built this. She wouldn't let rumors undo it. The next evening, Mrs. Garcia brought tamales. You're carrying a lot, Mija. Don't let the trolls win, Emma smiled. They won't. Her gratitude jar grew. 1. Liam's hugs. 2. The Thompsons' ramp. 3. That plaque. The documentary's trailer dropped online. showing Emma's speech at the hub's opening. Views climbed and support surged, but so did the noise. Emma stood firm. She'd started with $8 and a choice. Now she'd finish what she began, one family, one day at a time. 7 months after Emma Thompson's $8 act of kindness saved Bear's life, the Thompson Hub stood as a cornerstone of hope in her Detroit neighborhood. The community center buzzed daily. Kids in after-school programs, adults in job training, and a clinic serving hundreds. Emma, now a seasoned outreach director for Rosie's Riders, had helped 200 families, from medical aid to housing support. But today, her nerves jangled. The documentary, The 8 Hero, was streaming nationwide, and its release was reshaping her world. The film, shot months ago, chronicled Emma's journey from a struggling single mom to a leader transforming lives. It featured her saving Bear at the gas station, the hub's opening, and stories like Sarah Jones, the teen mom now thriving in nursing school. The trailer had hit 5 million views, and the full release was trending on social media, with trucker Rosie's Riders soaring past 40 million. National outlets ran features. Detroit Mom's Kindness Sparks movement. Donations flooded in, enough to plan a second hub in Flint, but the spotlight brought heat. Online critics doubled down. Biker propaganda. Emma's a front for their schemes. A new article dug into Bear's Hells Angels past, questioning Rosie's Riders' funding. Emma had checked the books herself. Every cent was clean, but the rumors stung. At the hub, she pushed forward, welcoming a new family, the Garcias, no relation to Mrs. Garcia, who faced eviction after a job loss. Sitting in their cramped apartment, Emma arranged 3 months' rent and job training for Mr. Garcia. "You're a lifeline," he said, eyes grateful. Back at the hub, volunteers like Maria Alvarez and Sarah Jones ran programs smoothly. Emma trained more staff, including Mr. Lee, now a pantry coordinator. The open house had silenced many local skeptics, like Mr. Rodriguez, who now led resume workshops. But the national scrutiny was relentless. A TV interview request came from a major network, wanting Emma to share her story live. She hesitated. Media drained her, and Liam's words, "I miss you, Mom," echoed. That night, Liam sulked at dinner, pushing peas around his plate. "You're always at the hub or on the phone," he said. Emma's heart sank. She'd given him stability, a home, full asthma meds, a bike, but time was slipping. "I'm sorry, bud," she said, pulling him close. "How about a movie night, just us?" His face lit up. They watched a superhero flick on their new couch, Liam laughing as Emma mimicked the hero's poses. She added to her gratitude jar. 1, Liam's laugh. 2, the Garcia's relief. 3, the hub's growth. The documentary's impact grew. Families across Michigan shared stories online. Rosie's Riders paid my daughter's hospital bill. They saved our home. A senator tweeted support, promising to visit the hub. But so did the hate. Emma's selling a fantasy. Mrs. Garcia, now a hub regular, stopped by with coffee. "Mia, you're on every screen. Ignore the noise. Look at what you've built." Emma nodded. But the balance felt precarious. Determined to expand, Emma scouted a new neighborhood in Detroit's East Side, meeting a community leader, Pastor Evans. His church ran a small food pantry, overwhelmed by demand. "We need what you've got," he said. Emma pitched a partnership. Rosie's Riders would fund a satellite pantry and job training at his church, linked to the hub. "You're the real deal," Pastor Evans said, shaking her hand. The deal was set, extending the hub's reach, but the personal cost hit hard. At a hub meeting, Bear noticed Emma's fatigue. "You're carrying a lot," he said. "Take a day for you and Liam." She resisted. Too many families needed her, but Jax agreed. "You're no good burned out." Emma took the advice, spending a Saturday with Liam at a park, pushing him on swings, sharing ice cream. "This is the best day, Mom," he said, grinning. Her heart mended, but work called. The TV interview loomed. Emma prepared, nervous but resolute. On air, she spoke plainly. "I was a mom with $8, scared for my son. I helped a man because it was right. Now the Thompson Hub helps hundreds because kindness builds. Check our books, visit us, see for yourself." The host nodded, impressed. The clip went viral, pushing Rosie's Riders to 50 million views. Support surged, donations, volunteers, even a corporate sponsor offering $100,000. But critics persisted. "She's a scripted pawn." Back at the hub, Emma visited Sarah, who'd aced her first nursing exam. "You gave me this," Sarah said, hugging her. Emma smiled, the hate fading against Sarah's pride. That night, she pulled out her mom's photo, her words echoing, "Kindness is free, Em." The documentary had shown the world her heart, but Liam was her anchor. She'd balance both no matter the storm. Her gratitude jar grew. 1. Liam's Park Day. 2. Pastor Evan's Trust. Read a voice that carries. The hub's reach was expanding, and Emma's resolve was iron. She'd started with $8. Now she'd carry kindness further, one family, one neighborhood at a time. 8 months after Emma Thompson's $8 act of kindness saved Bear's life, the Thompson hub was a thriving beacon in her Detroit neighborhood, and its reach was spreading. The new satellite pantry, partnered with Pastor Evan's church on the east side, opened today, a milestone in Rosie's Riders expansion. Emma stood in the church's community room, now stocked with groceries, as volunteers like Maria Alvarez and Mr. Lee distributed food to families. The space buzzed. Kids grabbed snacks. Parents thanked Emma, and Pastor Evans beamed. "You're changing this side of town," he said, shaking her hand. The original hub now served 250 families, with programs running smoothly. Job training, a clinic, after-school care. Emma had hired more staff, including Sarah Jones, whose nursing studies were flourishing. The documentary, The $8 Hero, had hit 10 million streams, with Dara Rosie's Riders at 60 million views. National support poured in, donations, volunteers, a second hub planned for Flint. But so did criticism. Online posts raged, "Biker money laundering. Emma's their puppet." A new article questioned the nonprofit's transparency despite open books. Emma pushed through, focusing on the pantry launch. Families lined up, some familiar from the hub, others new. She met the Lopez family, Anna, a single mom, and her 2 sons, struggling after a factory layoff. "We're behind on rent," Anna admitted quietly. Emma arranged 3 months' rent support and enrolled Anna in a coding course at the hub. "You've got a future," Emma said, handing her a grocery voucher. Anna's eyes welled up. "You're a godsend." Back at home, a personal milestone lifted Emma's spirits. Liam bounded in with a report card, straight A's, his best ever. "My teacher says I'm a star," he said, waving a certificate for art. Emma hugged him tightly, pride swelling. "You're my star, bud." His asthma was managed, his confidence soaring, thanks to the stability Rosie's Riders provided. But his earlier words, "I miss you, Mom," lingered. She planned a weekend trip to the zoo, just them. The next day, a critical meeting loomed. A major donor, Ms. Coleman, a CEO of a Michigan-based tech firm, was considering a $200,000 grant for the Flint hub. But she'd read the critical articles and wanted answers. At the Thompson hub, Emma, Bear, and Jax met her in the conference room. Ms. Coleman, sharp-eyed and direct, asked, "Bear, your Hell's Angels past, does it taint this work?" Bear leaned forward. "I left that life 20 years ago. Rosie's death rebuilt me. Every dollar here is clean. Our financials are public." Emma added, "We've helped 250 families in 8 months. Visit our programs, talk to them." Ms. Coleman toured the hub, meeting Sarah, who shared her nursing journey, and Mr. Lee, who praised the pantry. "This is real impact," Ms. Coleman said, signing the grant. "You've got my trust." Emma exhaled, the ember of purpose reigniting. The grant would fund the Flint hub's groundwork, expanding their mission. But trouble brewed. At the pantry launch, a vocal critic, Tom Harlan, a local blogger who'd written Rosie's Riders charity or cult, showed up with a small crowd, holding signs. "Demand transparency." He cornered Emma outside the church. "You're naive letting bikers use you," he said, loud enough for others to hear. Pastor Evans stepped in. "She's helping my people." "Have you seen our books?" Harlan scoffed. "Books can be faked." Emma's heart raced, but she faced him. "Come inside, Tom. Meet Anna Lopez, whose rent we paid." "See the kids eating. Our work's real." Harlan hesitated, then followed. He watched volunteers distribute food, heard Anna's story, and saw kids like Liam playing. His posture softened, but he muttered, "I'll keep digging." Emma nodded. "Dig all you want. We're open." Pastor Evans clapped her shoulder. "You handled that like a leader." Media attention intensified. The TV interview clip from last month hit 20 million views, and a national talk show invited Emma to New York. She hesitated,
Travel meant time away from Liam, but Bear urged her. "Your voice carries our mission." She agreed, planning to bring Liam for the trip. At home, Mrs. Garcia dropped by with tamales. "You face that blogger, mija. You're unstoppable." Emma sighed. "I just want to help, not fight." Mrs. Garcia smiled. "You're doing both." That night, Emma pulled out her mom's photo, her words echoing, "Kindness is free." The confrontation with Harlan had shaken her, but the Lopez family's gratitude, Liam's A's and the grant grounded her. She added to her gratitude jar: 1. Liam's A's. 2. Anna's hope. 3. The Flint Hub's future. The documentary's success and the talk show invite meant more eyes on Rosie's riders, more support, more scrutiny. Emma was ready. The next day, she checked on Sarah, who'd passed another nursing exam. "You're why I'm here," Sarah said, hugging her. Emma smiled, the critic's words fading. The satellite pantry was thriving, the hub was growing, and Liam was shining. She'd started with $8 and a choice. Now she was building bridges, one family, one fight at a time. 9 months after Emma Thompson's $8 act of kindness saved Bear's life at a Detroit gas station, she stood backstage at a New York talk show studio, her heart pounding. The Thompson hub had transformed her neighborhood, and the satellite pantry on Detroit's east side was thriving. Now, with Liam by her side, clutching his sketchbook, Emma prepared to share her story on national TV. The documentary, The $8 Hero, had hit 15 million streams, with Your Rosie's Riders at 70 million views. Support was soaring, donations, volunteers, and a $200,000 grant for a new hub in Flint. But online critics still raged. "Biker scam. Emma's their front." Liam squeezed her hand. "You're gonna be awesome, Mom." Emma smiled, adjusting his tiny Rosie's Riders vest. Bringing him along was her way of balancing work and family after his pleas of, "I miss you." The host, a warm woman named Carla, welcomed them on set. The audience cheered as Emma sat, her Rosie's Riders vest catching the lights. "Tell us about that $8, Carla began. Emma's voice steadied. "I was a single mom down to my last $8, scared for my son. I saw a man, Bear, collapse. I paid for his gas to get to a hospital. That choice led to the Thompson hub, helping over 250 families." The audience gasped at clips of the hub, kids in after-school programs, families like the Lopez's with rent support, Sarah Jones in nursing school. Carla leaned in. "Critics say Rosie's Riders is a biker front. What's the truth?" Emma met her gaze. "We're transparent. Our books are open, our work is real. Come see the families we've helped. Judge us by that." Applause erupted. Liam grinned, sketching the stage in his book. The clip went viral, hitting 25 million views, with Your Rosie's Riders trending globally. Back in Detroit, the Flint hub's groundbreaking was days away. Emma returned to a packed Thompson hub, where Maria Alvarez, now a lead staffer, ran the job training program. Emma met a new family, the Browns. Lila, a widowed grandma raising 3 grandkids struggling with utility bills. Sitting in their chilly apartment, Emma arranged 6 months of utility payments and enrolled Lila in a clerical course. "You're giving us warmth," Lila said, hugging her. Emma handed her a grocery voucher. "We're in this together." The Flint groundbreaking drew hundreds. Volunteers, families, and media. Bear spoke first, his voice strong. "Rosie's Riders is about second chances." Emma's kindness sparked this, and Flint's next. Emma took the shovel, Liam at her side, and broke ground to cheers. Pastor Evans, whose satellite pantry thrived, clapped. "You're building hope everywhere." The $200,000 grant from Ms. Coleman ensured construction, with plans for a clinic and job training. A senator attended, promising federal support, boosting Gawker Rosie's Riders to 80 million views. But online hate persisted. A new post claimed, "Flint hub's a money grab." Comments stung. "Emma's fooling everyone." At the hub, a community meeting turned the tide. Mr. Rodriguez, once a skeptic, stood up. "I doubted Rosie's Riders. I was wrong. Emma's helped my neighbors. Real help, real change." Maria shared her story. Then Sarah, then Lila. The crowd rallied, launching a Your Real Rosie's campaign, flooding social media with photos of the hub's impact. Kids learning, families stable. The hashtag trended, drowning out some hate. Emma felt the shift, but worried about Liam. His A's and art awards were her pride. But he'd overheard a classmate repeat online rumors, "Your mom's with bad bikers." At home, he asked, Are they lying, Mom? Emma knelt beside him. Some people don't understand, Bud. We help people, that's the truth. She showed him the Years Real Rosie's posts, families thanking her. Liam nodded, sketching a new hero. Her Mrs. Garcia stopped by with empanadas. That talk show, mija? You owned it. The neighborhood's behind you. Emma sighed. The hate's still loud. Mrs. Garcia patted her hand. Your work's louder. That night, Emma pulled out her mom's photo, her words echoing, kindness is free, Em. The Flint hub, the pantry, Liam's smile, it was worth the fight. She added to her gratitude jar, 1, Liam's sketch. 2, Lila's warmth. 3, our community's voice. The talk show aired again, pushing donations to $300,000. Emma trained new staff for Flint, including Lila, who joined the pantry team. But a new challenge loomed. A critical article promised an expose on Bear's past. Emma confronted him. They're digging again. Anything else I should know? Bear met her eyes. You know my story. I was lost. Rosie's death saved me. We're clean. Emma trusted him but felt the pressure. The Real Rosie's campaign grew. With families posting videos, Emma saved our home. The hub gave me a job. The narrative shifted, but the expose loomed. Emma stood firm, her leadership deeper than ever. She'd started with $8. Now she was amplifying kindness, one family, one city at a time. 10 months after Emma Thompson's $8 act of kindness saved Bear's life at a Detroit gas station, the Thompson hub was a lifeline for 300 families, with its satellite pantry thriving and the Flint hub under construction. The documentary The $8 Hero had reached 20 million streams, and our Rosie's Riders hit 90 million views, fueling donations and national support. But a storm hit with the release of a critical expose. Unveiled, the truth behind Rosie's Riders, published by a Detroit blogger, Tom Harlan. It rehashed Bear's Hells Angels past, questioned funding sources, and called Emma a naive figurehead. Social media erupted. She's been duped. Biker scam confirmed. Emma sat in the hub's office, the article open on her laptop. Her stomach churned, but she'd seen the books. Every dollar was clean. Bear, his face lined with fatigue, met her eyes. I told you my past. They're twisting it to hurt us. Jax added, donations dropped 10% overnight. We need to respond. Emma nodded, her resolve hardening. We double down on the work. Show them who we are. She proposed a new outreach push, more families, more transparency, to counter the noise. That day, she visited the Rivera family, Puerto Rican immigrants struggling after a fire damaged their home. In their temporary shelter, Mrs. Rivera clutched her daughter's hand. We lost everything, she said. Emma arranged emergency housing funds through Rosie's Riders and enrolled Mrs. Rivera in a retail management course at the hub. You're rebuilding, Emma said, handing her a grocery voucher. Mrs. Rivera's eyes glistened. You're our miracle. Back at the hub, Emma mentored Sarah Jones, the teen mom now excelling in nursing school. Sarah was nervous about her first clinical rotation. I don't know if I'm ready, she admitted. Emma sat with her in the job training room, sharing her own fears from early days as outreach director. You've got this, Sarah. You're proof of what's possible. Lean on that. Sarah hugged her, confidence bolstered. You're my hero, Emma. The moment grounded Emma. Mentoring Sarah felt like passing her mom's kindness forward. The expose's impact lingered. A major donor threatened to pull a $50,000 pledge, spooked by the article. Emma organized an emergency open house, inviting donors, media, and skeptics. Families like the Lopez's, Browns, and Riveras shared their stories. Rent paid, jobs found, lives changed. Mr. Rodriguez, now a hub stalwart, spoke. I was a doubter. Emma proved me wrong. The donors stayed, and media coverage shifted. Thompson hub weathered storm with transparency. Our Real Rosie's trended, hitting 5 million posts, countering the hate. Liam, thriving with A's and art awards, noticed Emma's stress. Mom, are the bad posts making you sad? He asked, clutching a new drawing of the hub. Emma knelt beside him. Some people don't see the good yet, bud. We'll keep showing them. She planned a family day, a picnic at the hub for Liam and other kids. At the event, Liam laughed with friends, painting murals. Emma watched, her heart full but heavy. Balancing leadership and motherhood was a tightrope. Mrs. Garcia stopped by with coffee.
Mija, you face that expose like a warrior. The neighborhood's proud, Emma sighed. It's exhausting fighting lies, Mrs. Garcia nodded. Truth's stronger. Look at Sarah, the Riveras. Emma pulled out her mom's photo that night. Her words echoing, kindness is free, Em. The expose had shaken her. But the hub's impact, 300 families, a new pantry, Flint's progress, was undeniable. She added to her gratitude jar. 1. Liam's laughter. 2. The Riveras home. Here, Sarah's strength. The Flint hub's construction advanced, with Emma overseeing plans for its clinic and job programs. She trained new staff, including Mrs. Rivera, who joined the satellite pantry. National support grew. A university offered scholarships for hub clients, inspired by the documentary. But the online noise persisted. Emma's hiding something. She countered with action, posting Real Rosie's videos of families helped, gaining traction. A personal milestone came when Sarah invited Emma to her nursing school's pinning ceremony. You got me here, Sarah said, pinning her badge. Emma's eyes welled up. Mentoring Sarah was a mirror of her own growth. At home, she tucked Liam in, his latest drawing of her as a hero taped to the wall. You're winning, Mom, he whispered. She smiled, the expose's sting fading, the hub's reach deepened, with plans for a third location in Toledo. Emma's New York talk show clip hit 30 million views, and a national charity network invited her to speak at a conference. She accepted, determined to carry Rosie's Riders' mission further. The expose hadn't broken them, it had sharpened her focus. She'd started with $8. Now she was forging a legacy, one family, one truth at a time. 11 months after Emma Thompson's $8 act of kindness saved Bear's life at a Detroit gas station, she stood at a podium in Chicago, facing a sea of charity leaders at a national conference. The Thompson hub had transformed her neighborhood, with 350 families served, a thriving satellite pantry on Detroit's east side, and the Flint hub opening today. The documentary The $8 Hero had hit 25 million streams, with the Rosie's Riders at 100 million views, driving donations and support. But online critics, fueled by Tom Harlan's expose, persisted. Biker front. Emma's a facade. Emma gripped the podium. Her Rosie's Riders vest a badge of purpose. Liam and I had $8 left, she began, her voice clear. I helped a stranger because it was right. That choice built the Thompson hub, helping hundreds with food, jobs, healthcare. Kindness isn't free, it costs courage, but it builds futures. Join us. The crowd gave a standing ovation, and a national charity network pledged $500,000 for Rosie's Riders expansion. The speech clip went viral, hitting 40 million views, with Real Rosie's trending at 10 million posts, showcasing families like the Riveras and Sarah Jones. Back in Michigan, Emma and Liam joined the Flint hub's opening, a sleek center mirroring Detroit's. Hundreds gathered, volunteers, families, and media. Bear spoke. Emma's $8 sparked this. Flint's our next step. Emma cut the ribbon, Liam at her side, to cheers. The hub's clinic, job training, and pantry were ready, funded by Ms. Coleman's grant and conference donations. Pastor Evans, now a regional coordinator, hugged her. You're unstoppable. A senator's presence boosted coverage, pushing Rosie's Riders to 110 million views. Emma's outreach continued. She met the Carter family in Flint, James, a laid-off auto worker, and his daughter Zoe, needing asthma meds like Liam once did. In their small apartment, Emma arranged medical funding and enrolled James in a welding course at the Flint hub. You're giving us a shot, James said, shaking her hand. Emma handed him a grocery voucher. We're in this together. The moment echoed her own past, fueling her drive. The expose's fallout lingered. Donations had dipped 15%, and some volunteers hesitated, spooked by rumors. Emma countered with transparency, posting financials online and inviting audits. The Real Rosie's campaign grew, with families like the Lopez's and Browns sharing videos. Emma saved our home. The hub gave me a future. But Tom Harlan, the blogger, remained a thorn, posting, Flint hub's a distraction from their secrets. At the Flint opening, Harlan appeared, no signs this time, just a notebook. Emma braced herself, but he approached quietly. I visited the hub, talked to families. I was wrong, he said. Your work's real. I'll write a retraction. Stunned, Emma nodded. Come see more anytime. His article, I Misjudged Rosie's Riders, went viral,
shifting the narrative. Donations rebounded, and Real Rosie's hit 15 million posts. Liam, thriving with A's and art awards, joined Emma at the Flint Hub, sketching the ribbon cutting. But he'd overheard more rumors at school. Your mom's with shady bikers. At home, he asked, why do they keep lying? Emma showed him Harlan's retraction. Truth wins, bud. We keep helping. They planned a zoo trip, balancing her work. Liam's smile was her anchor. Mrs. Garcia visited, bringing tamales. Mia, you turned that blogger around. You're a force. Emma laughed. Just doing my job. At night, she pulled out her mom's photo, her words echoing, kindness is free, Em. Mentoring Sarah, now a nursing intern, was her latest pride. Sarah had invited her to a hospital volunteer event, saying, you taught me to believe in myself. Emma's growth mirrored Sarah's, leadership forged in kindness. The Flint Hub served 50 families in its first week, with plans for a Toledo location. A national foundation offered a $1 million grant, inspired by Emma's speech. But online hate lingered. Harlan flipped too fast, still a scam. Emma posted a Fockers Real Rosie's video of James Carter's family, gaining traction. Her gratitude jar grew. 1. Liam's smile. 2. James' hope. 3. Harlan's change. Bear checked in, his health strong. You're carrying Rosie's legacy, he said. Emma nodded, the exposé's shadow fading. The conference, Flint's opening, and Harlan's retraction had solidified her resolve. She'd started with $8. Now she was bridging cities. One family, one truth at a time. A year after Emma Thompson's $8 act of kindness saved Bear's life at a Detroit gas station, the Thompson Hub was a lifeline for 400 families. With the Flint Hub thriving and a third planned for Toledo, the documentary The $8 Hero had reached 30 million streams, and Dr. Rosie's Riders hit 120 million views, driving donations and a $1 million grant for expansion. Tom Harlan's retraction had quieted some critics, but online skeptics persisted. Too good to be true. Emma's still their pawn. Despite the noise, Emma's leadership shone, though a personal challenge loomed. At the Hub, Emma met with Bear and Pastor Evans to plan the Toledo Hub. We'll mirror Flint, pantry, clinic, job training, she said. A Toledo pastor, Reverend Mitchell, had partnered, inspired by the Real Rosie's campaign, now at 20 million posts. The $1 million grant would fund construction, but Emma proposed a unity event to link Detroit and Flint communities, boosting momentum. A Ride for Hope festival, she said. Families, bikers, stories, show our strength. Bear nodded. You're thinking big. Lead it. The festival took shape, food stalls, music, and a motorcycle parade set for next month. Emma recruited Maria Alvarez to organize volunteers, Sarah Jones to share her nursing success, and Mr. Rodriguez to lead logistics. But during a planning meeting, Emma felt a sharp chest pain, her breath short. She brushed it off as stress, but Bear noticed. You okay? She nodded, hiding her worry. Her mom's fatal heart attack haunted her, ignored by passers-by, a wound that drove Emma's kindness. That day, she visited the Patel family in Detroit, Amir, a single dad, and his son Rohan, facing medical debt from Rohan's epilepsy. In their small apartment, Emma arranged funding for Rohan's meds and enrolled Amir in an IT course at the Hub. You've given us peace, Amir said, his voice thick. Emma handed him a grocery voucher. We're in this together. The pain struck again as she drove back, sharper. She gripped the wheel, fear rising. At home, Liam showed her a new art award, a city contest win, his drawing of the Hub displayed downtown. You're my hero, Mom, he said, hugging her. Emma smiled, but another pain hit, stealing her breath. She booked a doctor's appointment, keeping it quiet. The Hub needed her. Liam needed her. She couldn't falter. That night, she pulled out her mom's photo, her words echoing, kindness is free, Em. She added to her gratitude jar, 1. Liam's art, 2. The Patel's peace, 3. Toledo's hope. The Ride for Hope festival arrived, uniting Detroit and Flint at the Thompson Hub. Hundreds attended, families, bikers, and media. Motorcycles roared in a parade led by jacks. Food stalls offered tacos, barbecue, and samosas. Sarah spoke. Emma got me to nursing school. The Carters and Riveras shared their stories. Meds funded, homes saved. Emma took the stage, her chest tight but voice steady. We're one community, Detroit to Flint. Kindness built this. And it's building Toledo. Cheers erupted, and Real Rosies hit 25 million posts. A national news crew covered the event, their segment pushing Jogger Rosie's riders to 130 million views. Donations soared, securing Toledo's groundbreaking. But online hate lingered. Festival's a distraction, Pastor Evans countered, posting a Real Rosie's video of the event. Gaining traction, Mr. Rodriguez, once a skeptic, told Emma, "You've united us." Her chest ached again, and she confided in Mrs. Garcia, who'd brought empanadas. "Mija, get that checked. You're no good to anyone sick." The next day, Emma saw a doctor. Tests showed stress-induced angina, not a heart attack, but a warning. "Rest, manage stress," the doctor said. Emma nodded, shaken. At the hub, she delegated more to Maria and Sarah, who'd become leaders. Sarah, now a nursing intern, checked Emma's pulse, half joking. "You taught me to care. Now let us care for you." Emma smiled, mentoring Sarah, her anchor. She trained Amir Patel for the Toledo pantry, his gratitude easing her worry. Liam sensed her strain. "Mom, are you sick?" he asked, clutching his sketchbook. Emma hugged him. "Just need to slow down, bud. We're okay." They spent a quiet evening painting, Liam's laughter her medicine. The Toledo Hub's plans advanced, with Reverend Mitchell praising Emma's vision. A national charity invited her to consult on their programs, cementing her influence. Online, a new critic emerged, but now Real Rosies drowned them out. Emma's gratitude jar grew. 1. Liam's laughter. 2. Amir's future. 3. Our unity. The health scare had shaken her, but the festival's success, Sarah's growth, and Toledo's promise strengthened her. She'd started with $8. Now she was building a movement, one family, one heartbeat at a time. 13 months after Emma Thompson's $8 act of kindness saved Bear's life at a Detroit gas station, she stood in Toledo, Ohio, shovel in hand, ready to break ground on the third Rosie's Riders Hub. The Thompson Hub in Detroit and the Flint Hub were thriving, serving 500 families combined, with the East Side Satellite Pantry bustling. The documentary The $8 Hero had hit 35 million streams, and Rosie's Riders reached 140 million views, driving donations and national support. Despite lingering online criticism, biker cover-up. Emma's Too Perfect, Tom Harlan's retraction, and the Real Rosies campaign, now at 30 million posts, had shifted the narrative. Emma's recent health scare, stress-induced angina, had forced her to slow down, delegating more to Maria Alvarez and Sarah Jones. Today, her heart felt steady as she addressed the Toledo crowd, families, volunteers, Reverend Mitchell, and media. "Kindness built this movement," she said, Liam at her side in his tiny Rosie's Riders vest. "From Detroit to Flint, now Toledo, we're here for you." The crowd cheered as she dug the first shovel, marking the start of a new hub with a pantry, clinic, and job training. A national news crew filmed, pushing Dr. Rosie's Riders to 150 million views. Back in Detroit, Emma had secured a $2 million grant from a national foundation, inspired by her Chicago conference speech. At the hub, she met with Bear and Pastor Evans to allocate funds, half for Toledo's construction, half for expanding Detroit and Flint programs. "You're a force," Bear said, his health robust. Emma smiled, but her angina lingered in her mind. She'd started yoga and cut back late nights, prioritizing Liam. Her outreach continued. She visited the Nguyen family in Flint, a single mom, Lynn, and her daughter, Mai, struggling with Mai's diabetes care costs. In their modest apartment, Emma arranged funding for Mai's insulin and enrolled Lynn in a childcare course at the Flint Hub. "You're giving us a future," Lynn said, tears falling. Emma handed her a grocery voucher. "We're in this together." The moment echoed her own past, reinforcing her purpose. The community rallied around Emma's recovery. Sarah, now a confident nursing intern, checked in daily, offering health tips. "You taught me to keep going. Now it's my turn," she said, taking Emma's blood pressure with a grin. Maria organized a Health for Heroes Day at the hub, with free checkups for staff and volunteers. Mrs. Garcia, bringing empanadas, hugged Emma. "Mija, you scared us." "Rest okay?" Emma nodded, grateful for the support. Liam, thriving with A's and art awards, joined the event, painting a mural of hearts with other kids. Online, a new critic emerged, reposting old Hell's Angels rumors about Bear. But the Hear Real Rosies campaign drowned them out. With families like the Patels and Carters sharing videos, Emma saved our home. The Hub gave me a job. A university partnered with Rosie's Riders, offering 20 scholarships for Hub clients. Media coverage grew. A national magazine profiled Emma as America's kindness champion. The label felt heavy, but she embraced it for the mission. Liam noticed her quieter moments.
"Mom, you're better, right?"
he asked, clutching a drawing of them at the Toledo groundbreaking. Emma hugged him. "Getting there, bud. You keep me strong." They spent a weekend at the zoo, Liam sketching giraffes, her heart lighter. At the Hub, she mentored Sarah, who'd been offered a hospital job post-graduation. "You gave me confidence," Sarah said. Emma's growth mirrored Sarah's, leadership tempered by vulnerability. The Toledo Hub's plans advanced, with Reverend Mitchell praising Emma's vision. "You're building bridges," he said. A national charity network invited her to keynote their next conference, cementing her influence. But the angina scare had taught her balance. She delegated more, trusting Maria and Sarah, and planned family time with Liam. Her gratitude jar grew. 1. Liam's sketches. 2. Lynn's hope. 3. Community care. Bear checked in, his eyes warm. "You've carried us far, Emma. Rosie's proud." She nodded, the critics' noise fading. The Toledo groundbreaking, the grant, and her recovery had deepened her resolve. She pulled out her mom's photo, her words echoing, "Kindness is free, Em." She'd started with $8. Now she was forging a legacy, one family, one heartbeat at a time. 14 months after Emma Thompson's $8 act of kindness saved Bear's life at a Detroit gas station, she stood at a podium in Washington, D.C., addressing a national charity conference. The Thompson Hub in Detroit, the Flint Hub, and the Toledo Hub under construction had collectively served 1,000 families, a milestone celebrated with banners at each location. The documentary, The $8 Hero, had hit 40 million streams, and the show Rosie's Riders reached 160 million views, driving donations and a $2 million grant. Despite lingering online criticism, Biker Front, Emma's a Tool, the Real Rosie's campaign, now at 35 million posts, showcased stories of families transformed. Emma's voice rang clear. One choice, $8 to help a stranger, built a movement. The Thompson Hub, Flint, and Toledo are proof. Kindness scales when we believe in each other. The crowd of 2,000 charity leaders gave a standing ovation. A national foundation pledged $3 million for Rosie's Riders expansion, and the speech clip went viral, hitting 50 million views. Real Rosies trended higher, with posts from families like the Nguyens and Patels. Emma saved our future. Back in Detroit, Emma celebrated the 1,000 family milestone at the Thompson Hub. Volunteers like Maria Alvarez, now a regional manager, and Sarah Jones, soon to graduate nursing school, led a party with music, food, and kids painting murals. Liam, thriving with A's in a city art exhibit, ran the kids' art booth, his tiny Rosie's Riders vest gleaming. Bear spoke. Emma's heart started this. 1,000 families, that's her legacy. The crowd cheered, and a national news outlet covered it, pushing number Rosie's Riders to 170 million views. Emma's outreach continued. She visited the Jackson family in Toledo, Tamika, a single mom, and her son Malik, facing eviction after a medical emergency. In their cramped apartment, Emma arranged rent support and enrolled Tamika in a culinary course at the Toledo Hub site, prepping for its opening. "You're giving us a home," Tamika said, hugging her. Emma handed her a grocery voucher. "We're in this together." The moment echoed her own struggles, deepening her resolve. Her recent health scare, stress-induced angina, lingered, but yoga and delegation kept it at bay. Sarah checked her vitals weekly, saying, "You're my mentor. Stay healthy." Maria organized staff wellness days, and Mrs. Garcia, bringing tamales, insisted, "Mia, you're stronger than ever, but rest." Emma nodded, grateful for the community's care. Liam, sensing her balance, showed her a new drawing, a superhero Emma with 1,000 stars for each family helped. "You're the best, Mom," he said. They planned a movie night, keeping their bond tight. Online critics persisted. A new post claiming, "Rosie's Riders inflates numbers." But the Not Your Real Rosie's campaign countered, with videos from the Jacksons, Carters, and others. The Hub gave me a job. Emma paid our bills. A university expanded its scholarship program for Hub clients to 50 slots. and a national retailer offered job placements inspired by Emma's speech. Media praised her. America's kindness champion builds bridges. The label felt heavy, but she carried it for the mission. At the hub, Emma mentored Sarah, who'd secured a full-time nursing job. "You taught me to dream big," Sarah said, inviting Emma to her graduation. Emma's heart swelled. Mentoring was her mom's legacy lived out. That night, she pulled out her mom's photo, her words echoing, "Kindness is free, Em." Her mom's death, ignored by passers-by, had driven Emma's $8 choice. Now 1,000 families carried that ripple. She reflected on the journey, from a gas station to national stages, her heart tested but unbroken. A new challenge emerged. A local official questioned the Toledo hub's permits, citing online rumors. Emma met with Reverend Mitchell and Bear, presenting transparent financials and community testimonials. The official relented, approving the permits. "You've got integrity," he said. The Toledo hub's construction advanced, set to open in months. Emma's gratitude jar grew. 1. Liam's stars. 2. Tamika's home. 3. Mom's legacy. Bear checked in, his eyes proud. "You've made Rosie's vision real." Emma smiled, the critics' noise fading. The conference, the milestone, and Sarah's growth had deepened her purpose. A national charity invited her to join their board, amplifying her influence. She'd started with $8. Now she was shaping a future. One family, one star at a time. 15 months after Emma Thompson's $8 act of kindness saved Bear's life at a Detroit gas station, she stood at the Toledo hub's opening, a gleaming new center joining the thriving Thompson and Flint hubs. Together, they served 1,200 families with pantries, clinics, and job training. The documentary The $8 Hero had hit 45 million streams, and Rosie's Riders reached 180 million views, fueled by a $3 million grant and the For Real Rosie's campaign, now at 40 million posts. Online critics lingered. Biker scheme. Emma's a front. But the narrative had shifted. With families like the Jacksons and Nguyens sharing stories of transformed lives. At the Toledo opening, Emma addressed a crowd of hundreds, families, volunteers, Reverend Mitchell, and media. "One choice started this," she said, Liam by her side in his Rosie's Riders vest. "Kindness built these hubs, and it's building Toledo's future." Cheers erupted as she cut the ribbon, unveiling a pantry, clinic, and job training rooms. Reverend Mitchell hugged her. "You've changed lives." A national news segment aired, pushing out her Rosie's Riders to 190 million views, and donations poured in for a fourth hub in Cleveland. A week earlier, Emma had received a National Humanitarian Award in New York, recognizing her as America's kindness champion. At the gala, she spoke humbly. "I'm just a mom who helped a stranger. The real heroes are the families rebuilding, the volunteers serving." The clip hit 60 million views, and a national retailer pledged job placements for 100 hub clients. Liam, who joined her, sketched the award, a golden heart, proudly showing it to Sarah Jones and Maria Alvarez back home. Emma's outreach continued. In Toledo, she met the Morales family, Elena, a widow, and her daughter Sophia, struggling after a car accident left Elena jobless. In their small apartment, Emma arranged medical bill support and enrolled Elena in a bookkeeping course at the Toledo hub. "You're giving us a chance," Elena said, tears falling. Emma handed her a grocery voucher. "We're in this together." The moment mirrored Emma's own past, strengthening her resolve. A local crisis tested the community. A fire in Detroit's east side destroyed a dozen homes, including some hub families. Emma rallied Rosie's Riders, mobilizing the Thompson and Flint hubs to provide emergency funds, food, and shelter. At a community healing event, families like the Riveras and Patels shared stories of recovery, joined by Pastor Evans and Reverend Mitchell. Emma spoke. "We rebuild together. That's our strength." Volunteers, including Mr. Rodriguez, distributed supplies, and the For Real Rosie's campaign surged to 45 million posts with videos of the effort. Emma's health, stress-induced angina, remained stable with yoga and delegation. Sarah, now a nurse, checked her vitals, saying, "You're my inspiration. Stay strong." Maria, managing multiple hubs, organized a community care day, offering health screenings and art workshops. Liam, thriving with A's and a state art contest win, led the kids' mural painting, his drawing of the fire response displayed proudly. "You're fixing everything, Mom," he said. Emma hugged him, planning a weekend hike to balance work and family. Online critics persisted. A new post claiming Toledo's a publicity stunt, but the modern Real Rosie's videos, Morales, Carter's, and others drowned them out. Emma saved our home. The hub gave me work. A national university expanded its scholarship program to 100 hub clients, and a tech firm offered coding internships inspired by Emma's award. Media lauded her, from 8 to a national movement. The spotlight felt heavy, but she carried it for the mission. At Sarah's nursing graduation, Emma sat in the front row, tears falling as Sarah thanked her. "You showed me I could do this," Sarah said, hugging her. Mentoring Sarah was Emma's mom's legacy lived out. Her death, ignored by passers-by, had fueled Emma's kindness. That night, Emma pulled out her mom's photo, her words echoing, "Kindness is free, M." She reflected on 1-200 families, 3 hubs, and a national award, a ripple from $8. A new challenge loomed. A critic questioned the Cleveland hub's feasibility. Emma met with Bear and Reverend Mitchell, presenting financials and community support. The critic backed off and plans advanced. Her gratitude jar grew. 1. Liam's mural. 2. Elena's chance. 3. Our healing. Bear said, "You're Rosie's heart, Emma." She nodded, the noise fading. The Toledo opening, the award, and the fire response had piqued her leadership. She'd started with $8. Now she was healing communities. One family, one heart at a time. 16 months after Emma Thompson's $8 act of kindness saved Bear's life at a Detroit gas station, she stood in Cleveland, Ohio, at the groundbreaking for the 4th Rosie's Riders Hub. The Thompson Hub in Detroit. Flint Hub and Toledo Hub had transformed 2,500 lives with pantries, clinics, and job training. The documentary The $8 Hero had reached 50 million streams, and Rosie's Riders hit 200 million views. Fueled by a $3 million grant and the Real Rosie's campaign, now at 50 million posts. Lingering online critics, biker scam, Emma's a puppet, were drowned out by stories of families like the Moraleses and Nguyens, proving the mission's truth. At the Cleveland groundbreaking, Emma addressed a vibrant crowd, families, volunteers, Reverend Mitchell, Pastor Evans, and national media. Liam, now 11, stood beside her, his Rosie's Riders vest matching hers. "One choice, $8 for a stranger, started this," Emma said. "From Detroit to Cleveland, kindness builds futures. We're here for you." Cheers erupted as she dug the first shovel, launching a hub with a pantry clinic and job programs. A national broadcast aired the event, pushing our Rosie's Riders to 210 million views, and donations surged for a 5th hub in Columbus. A week earlier, Rosie's Riders had hosted a national celebration in Detroit, marking 1,500 families served. Titled Kindness in Motion, the event united Detroit, Flint, and Toledo communities with music, food, and a motorcycle parade led by Jax. Sarah Jones, now a nurse, spoke. "Emma got me here." Maria Alvarez, regional director, shared, "She gave us hope." Liam's mural, a cityscape of hubs with hearts, hung as the backdrop. A national charity network honored Emma with a Lifetime Achievement Award, calling her America's Kindness Architect. The clip hit 70 million views. Emma's final outreach was to the Davis family in Cleveland, Marcus, a veteran, and his daughter, Aaliyah, struggling with housing after his PTSD led to job loss. In their temporary shelter, Emma arranged rent support and enrolled Marcus in a carpentry course at the Cleveland hub site. "You're giving us stability," Marcus said, gripping her hand. Emma handed him a grocery voucher. "We're in this together." The moment echoed her own journey. A full circle from her $8 choice. A local crisis had tested her resolve months ago, but the community's response, rebuilding after the Detroit fire, had strengthened her. Now her health was stable, stress-induced angina managed with yoga, rest, and Sarah's check-ins. At the celebration, Liam, thriving with A's and a national art contest win, gave Emma a drawing, a superhero family with her, him, and Bear. "You fixed everything, Mom," he said. They spent a weekend camping, roasting marshmallows. Her heart full, online critics persisted. A new post claiming, "Cleveland's a publicity grab, but your Real Rosie's videos, Davis, Jackson's, and others, overwhelmed them." Emma saved our home. The hub gave me work. A national tech firm offered 200 internships for hub clients, and a university expanded scholarships to 150 slots inspired by Emma's award. Media lauded her. From $8 to a national legacy. The spotlight was heavy, but she carried it for the families. At home, Mrs. Garcia brought empanadas. "Mia, you've built a world. Your mom's proud." Emma nodded, pulling out her mom's photo, her words echoing, "Kindness is free, Em." Her mom's death, ignored by passers-by, had sparked Emma's journey. Now 1,500 families, 4 hubs, and a national movement carried that ripple. Reflecting, Emma saw her legacy, not just hubs, but lives rebuilt. Sarah's nursing career, Maria's leadership. Liam's dreams. A final challenge emerged. A critic questioned the Columbus Hub's funding. Emma, Bear, and Reverend Mitchell presented transparent financials, silencing doubts. The Columbus plan advanced, set for next year. At Sarah's first hospital shift, Emma visited proud. "You made this possible," Sarah said. Emma's mentorship was her mom's heart lived out. Her gratitude jar overflowed. 1. Liam's dreams. 2. Marcus's stability. 3. A legacy of love. Bear, his health strong, hugged her at the Cleveland event. "Your rosy soul, Emma." She smiled, the noise gone. The hubs, the celebration, and her journey had woven a tapestry of kindness. From $8 to a national movement, Emma had built a future. One family, one heart at a time.